Investing in promissory notes. What can you, and again, this is all happening through the IRA.
Yes.
This is the beauty of things.
When I first started, I did tax liens and tax deeds, and then I started with some real estate. And in real estate, physical real estate or rental properties, you're dealing with tenants, toilets, trash. If you're dealing in mobile home parks, which I've owned a few, trailers, turnover.
Oh, big turnover, I'm sure.
There's lots of, for me, trailer parks are a special asset class because I was buying them in a very low income area.
Yeah.
So there's a little special brain damage that comes for me with trailer parks.
Yeah, right.
However, some of the best returns can be with trailer parks. So anyway, when you're investing in some sort of physical property or real estate, you're dealing tenants, toilets, trash, turnover, and all kinds of headaches.
Fun stuff.
So for me these days, and I'm running iPlan and I've got some other fun things going on, I want more mailbox money. So I don't want to be the one managing the contractors, repairing the rental, and finding a tenant, collecting the rent. So promissory notes are a great way to do this. And so promissory notes, we also call it private lending or hard money lending. So typically, let's say that you're a fix and flipper, you're that plumber, you've got these great opportunities, you're illiquid at this moment because you've already got 2 projects going on. So you need money. So my IRA can loan you money. Now, I'm going to do some special things to make sure I'm secured.
Sure.
Make sure you don't run off with it. I'm going to make sure that my loan to value is appropriate, meaning I'm not giving you more money than the house is worth. And I'm going to put a lien on the property. So if you don't pay me, I'm going to take the house.
Okay.
There's some other things I can do. A lender title policy. I can make sure that you have insurance, homeowner insurance. Yeah. So if the property burns, I'm going to get paid. I'm listed as a loss payee. So there's ways to protect myself and private lending. And then private lenders get anywhere from, we see 6%, 8%. I personally get around 12%.
Jeez,
and some
really
other
nice.
people get 15, 18%. Depends on, it's whatever we negotiate.
Yeah.
So that's I do a lot more private lending now than actual real estate because in this moment I'm happy with 12% and I don't have to swing a hammer or manage contractors. So
can you have a heavy that works within your IRA who goes to the guy in case he doesn't pay up in time? Hey.
Well, that's where you have all the paperwork. You've got you're in first position, so you foreclose, you go to the court. Sometimes I'll get a limited power of attorney.
Okay.
So if you don't sign over the deed to me, I can use the power of attorney limited to sign it over to myself. And in Ohio, some states have different provisions. We have a cognobit provision, which means you can waive your right to foreclosure. And so that speeds up things. So I do my private lending in Ohio because Ohio is a very friendly state to do it.
And I'm sure, with all those conditions, you obviously the folks you're getting with them, you're getting good returns out of it.
Yes.
I mean, because they're not going to be messing around.
Yeah.
Because
and once you find your group of private lenders, typically they lend to the
keep
same
coming back.
folks. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. And I always have the borrower go to the attorneys and sign all the documents because I want them to know that, hey, this is not just a friendly, this is a contract. And if this goes bad, I'm using this attorney and I'm going to take your house. Now, really, I don't want the house. I just want my 12%.
Sure, I understand you want that.
But I want to be protected.
That's probably, they're seeing that this is for real and and you're getting people who are for real and returning, doing a good job and all that.
We have a lot of folks that do private lending that do great. Another thing we can do, let's say that you letting your buddy money on a house, he's not paying you. Now you need to send your kid to school or something and you anticipated the return coming back sooner. You can sell that note to me. So we have a lot of people that do notes, and it could be a non-performing note, which means he owes you. It can be a performing note. And so I'll buy that note from you in my IRA or I'll and we'll negotiate the rate. So we have a lot of folks that buy and sell notes all the time, and their accounts grow really quickly.
I'll bet.
There's some nuances. You have to know the laws and everything. But if you understand that asset class, there's a lot of folks really making some decent money in notes.
And again, in terms of what iPlan does, if I'm somebody, if I'm new to this idea so I can come to you guys and go, hey, how do you work with somebody then? What's that interaction like? How do you open?
Yes, that's a great question. So a lot of times you'll have to go get your education outside of IRA. We'll help you with a little bit, but we're passive and we can't tell you, this note is a good investment.
Sure, again. But again, you can tell me, do this, do that, do that.
I can tell you how to structure. I can tell you, here's how to put a note in your IRA. Yeah. Okay. But you go find that. You go find your investment. We don't provide any investment.
Yeah, understood. That's
And sometimes what I'll do is if someone's really interested and they're gaining information, this happens a lot with tax liens or tax deeds. They'll call and they'll have questions, and I'll be able to experience share. I'll say, hey, I've got a client that's doing this and doing it well. I've gotten permission from them. Here's their phone number. You guys can call and chit chat.
That's pretty nice too.
So sometimes I'll, with clients' permission, I'll let other make an introduction so other clients can call and pick their brain, see what they're doing, because then that could be part of their R&D department. They rip off and duplicate.
I'm ripping that off and I'm duplicating. I'll tell you right now. I think that's great. Let's see. Anything else within the notes area that people should know?
Notes are just, I love notes. They're just, as long as you set them up properly on the front end, they're usually pretty low.
It's pretty, So you get it done and you know how to set it up on the front end, right?
And you can get it complicated. So let's say you have a 10-year note and you're earning income. I can buy the first 3 years of that note. That's called the nose. I can buy the tail of that note. Maybe I want the income later, or I can buy the middle, or I could buy the whole thing, or I could buy it discounted. So notes are a really neat thing to trade upon.
Wow. And I imagine there's some folks who just do that all the time.
Yes.
They're buying the middle, the end, the top, the bottom.
Depending on what their need is, correct.
I'm learning just enough to be dangerous. I can get myself in a lot of trouble.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Well, I better shut up now. Anything else that folks should know about promissory notes?
Oh, yeah. One more thing that people could know about promissory notes. So let's say I'm lending you funds to do a fix and flip.
Okay.
The rate is negotiable. So you and I negotiate. And so I like to tell people I don't get out of bed for less than 12%. So let's say we negotiate at 12%.
You're like Mr. Wonderful. I like this. Are you Mrs. Wonderful? Is that what they call you? That's great. Get right to it.
Trying to make a buck.
It's like, just get to it.
So we would negotiate the rate. So let's say we negotiate 12%. Okay. But let's say...
No, I wanted 8, but you don't agree. Okay, we're at 12.
But this is a really nice opportunity, and I know you couldn't do it without me, so I might leverage it a little more. Yeah. So I might do a profit sharing. So I'm going to charge you 12% plus 10% of the profit. So the notes can be not just as standard interest rate. It can be for 10% of ownership at the end, or 10% of profit, or 50% of profit, or it can be I'll give you a note for 3%, and then we split the profit 50-50. So it's very negotiable. There's no hard and fast rule on what you have to charge or how you have to set it.
What's the most creative deal you ever put together? Was there one?
We didn't put it together, but somebody came through with it, and it was a mobile home. So those think of those as property, but they're actually a vehicle because they have a VIN number.
Yeah.
So they're a vehicle. So we had a mobile home, and they were buying the mobile home, but trading a boat and lot rent, and so it was pretty complex on what evidence of ownership they were transferring to and from the IRA. Yeah. So it's those kind of creative ones.
Well, that's kind of fun, huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You'd think just a note, just a boring, but no, there's a lot going on there.
Yes, there's a lot going on.
It's like a poker game happening.